Hey there, greetings everybody. I want to welcome you here to Prog Monster. My name is Murph. I am the host of this show. This is a show that is dedicated to progressive rock and hard rock and heavy metal too, and other forms of rock music. So we're here today to work on the mini-series we've been running for this week, which is Masterpieces by Black Sabbath. This will be episode 4 for those of you counting. The album I've chosen for today's, well, I didn't choose it actually. I rolled dice. That's how I came to determine which albums were going first. I rolled dice, highest numbers, and I numbered them all, and actually didn't get a roll where I had doubles. I didn't have to roll anything twice, which was good. I love rolling dice, so that made me happy. So we have Black Sabbath's Heaven and Hell. Just want to say that this isn't a ranking, so none of these came as a rank. They're all just based on those dice rolls. So anyways, I'm going to talk a little bit about the albums. Today's album, Heaven and Hell, was my first Black Sabbath album. I came in the Dio eras at the beginning of this album. This is probably still my favorite album. It's one of my 5 favorite albums of all time. The album cover is cool. I like it. This album, I love this picture on the back too. It's really well done. Nice art form. So on this album you have again Ronnie James Dio. So for those of you who watched yesterday's episode, you know that he also was on the Mob Rules album. So you got Ronnie James Dio plus Tony Iommi on guitar, Geezer Butler on bass, and Bill Ward on the drums. Bill left shortly after this album was replaced by Vinny Appice. So very strong album for me. Was probably one of my 2 favorite albums that year. The other one being Permanent Waves from Rush. But this one was definitely in there. And this came out April 18th, 1980, a few days after I turned 16. Was it 16? Yeah, I turned 16 that year. So just a great album. Again, produced by Martin Birch, another great album by him. This album started out for me, I guess probably my personal feelings about this album is that I loved everything about it initially. I found it really heavy, very heavy, definitely metal sounding, very different from the other Sabbath albums, which at that point I didn't even know what they sounded like because I didn't own any of them. This was the first one. I found that Ronnie's voice was so good. Made me want to listen to more of his voice, so I went and looked for the Rainbow Rising album, which is another album I like quite a bit, that he was on. Such a fantastic vocalist. So this was my introduction to him, and a great one it was. Neon Nights, of course, was my favorite initially, because it's such a catchy, heavy, hard driving, smashing, crashing, banging song that just comes on out of nowhere and just takes over. Then you got the lesser, and then you get this kind of tone down to the Children of the Sea, which is a kind of almost etheric, very almost symphonic metal type song here, I think. But I really like the vocal part on that song. It was definitely one of my favorites. Then you get the heavy bass opening for Lady Evil, which is a great track. Wasn't one of my favorites though. This was a song me and my friend John used to have this argument about, because this was one of the first albums we got together. We went out and both bought it on the same day, and he loved this song, but I never just kind of didn't warm up to it as much as some of the other tracks on it. I do like it, but I just didn't think it was as good as the other. Then you got the title track, Heaven and Hell, which is well known, probably overplayed, but a great kind of heavy melodic song, the way doom metal should sound, I think. Then the flip side, I didn't listen to much initially, but then I got into it a little bit after I had the album for a bit. And then Wishing Well became one of my favorite songs. Probably, I would say Wishing Well and Die Young, which is the next track, are probably my 2 favorite songs on this album now. They took over that mantle. Not right away, but eventually they've taken over that mantle. Walk Away, it's an okay song, not a great song, but I still like it a lot. And then Lonely Is the Word is a song that still continues to grow with me. I still find that I'm saying, well, I like this song more and more every time I listen to it. Why didn't I not listen to it so much in the early days? It's often hard to say why you choose certain songs and why you don't. I think it's the catchiness. Early on, anything that caught my interest initially was the reason why I would listen to the album. So this has what, in my opinion, has 6 of Sabbath's best songs on it, and then 2 songs that are okay. So it's not the strongest overall album, but definitely the top end is very strong for me. Still is. Album has held up very well. Not as well as some of the other albums. Even though it's still one of my 5 favorites, it's under siege by other albums now. It may end up losing its status. But for now, it isn't. So that's what it's been like over the years. So its current status with me is kind of, it's not one that I reach to as much as I used to. And I'm not sure why. Maybe I overplayed it too much at one point or whatever. But it's still a great album. Still love it a lot. Still think it's well deserving of being at the top of the heap at the moment. I love of course, Ronnie's voice is fantastic, and I still love the artwork on the cover as well. This actually sounds a little cleaner than some of the other albums too. But both of the Martin Birch albums from that period of time, the first 2 after Sabbath had left Ozzy, I think both sound really great. And yeah, just really good. So anyways, that's it. That's it for episode 4 of the mini-series Masterpieces by Black Sabbath. I hope that you enjoyed this episode. This will come out Thursday morning, which is tomorrow morning. And if you have anything to comment about the album or the group at the time or how you felt about it or any of that, because it was a transition period. You know, you got Dio coming in and Ozzy going out. A lot of people initially didn't want to give Dio any kind of anything really. They just wanted Ozzy back, and they had a big problem with it. It was a kind of an argument between the 2 camps for a while, but I don't think that really exists much anymore. So if you have any comments about that or any of the other comments or the album or Black Sabbath or me or any of that stuff, you can put it in the comments section below. Please don't forget to hit the notification bell so that you don't miss the next episode, which will come out on Friday morning, episode 5. And let me know how you feel about what's going on. So have yourself a good day, and we will see you very soon. Take care. Bye.